Hey readers, this is gonna be the next lesson and all that stuff. It's gonna be about many opportunities for learning have been missed because we insist on talking and talking and talking and not listening. Quite a few of us probably do that. We like to get in out the last word in. We like to talk. We like to hear ourselves. We like to speak. We like to have the final decision. We like to have our voices heard because obviously we want to feel important in others. So let's begin with this chapter, okay? If we're really honest, there are few things in life more gratifying than when we say something cool, smart, or relevant. Something that others get value from and that makes us look good from a fleeting moment. But if the same conversational energy and forms were used to be inquisitive and to learn from those around us, the moment of us looking good would pale in comparison to the learning value we would derive from each conversation. There's often times when, especially when I was in the military, you would learn from people who have been there, from people who have more experience than you, people and all stuff. But, some things you can learn from the youngest person. Like, I know a lot of us older folks, some of our kids, even 5 years old these days, they know how to do a tablet or iPad, smartphone, laptop, you name it, electronic wise, PlayStation, video games, and all that stuff. They definitely know how to do it better, a lot better than majority of us probably can. And they're the future of the generation as far as that goes, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a way. Don't get me wrong, talking intelligently is a valuable asset, but talking too much and listening too little can have those around us looking for the exit sign, whether our words are intelligent or not. What's worse is we miss so much when we get in the mode of a one-way broadcast and disregard the value of intentional listening and the art of inquiry. Oftentimes, some of us might have to go to training lessons or seminars or online computer classes, you name it, so one or time or the other, you had to do it on job training, whatever. And you're like, yeah, I know a better way, or I know this, or I know this. But, hey, that's the company way. That's the way you need to do it. Maybe after you get some time and all that stuff, you can show them a safer way. I remember I said safer way. I didn't say better way, because better ways aren't always safe. And there's a lot of jobs out there and a lot of positions out there that you could do a quicker way, a faster way, as you would think a better way, but is it a safer way? Or will it make the product last longer in the long run, or will it make it just get out to the customer quicker? So, you have to pay attention. You can't just talk and talk and talk. You have to listen. Admittedly, there are times when I'm talking that I get caught up in trying to convince others and myself that I am smart. In fact, during some conversations, I usually keep talking until I'm semi-sure what I said is deemed as intelligent. That could take a while, and the victim on the other end of my monologue, frankly, doesn't deserve to be caught up in my insecure need to be viewed as something special. Then there are times when I focus intently on listening, and although it's not as fun as talking, I'm always assured to be more intelligent than I ever am when talking. Another benefit is that the other person will leave the conversation feeling valued and will think I'm smart for listening. The truth is, everything I ever wanted to know or needed to know could have been learned by simply listening. Listen more and talk less today. See what your heart sees, how others respond. Questions: when and where do I feel the need to do more talking than listening? How effective am I drawing on what is fascinating about people? A lot of times when I was a leader in the military and all that stuff, I took from bits and pieces of leadership from other people and put them all into what I thought was my leadership quality, or the way I wanted it to be. I saw a lot of people just basically saying, hey, do this, do that, do this, and they just supervised. They didn't watch. Granted, if you watch too much or get too involved, they consider that micromanaging, and I'm not a micromanager. I don't like to be that at all. But you know, sometimes the stuff they teach you when you go to like a school, or for example, you don't learn everything. You know, you learn the books stuff, but there's always new stuff coming out there. And the people that have been there, and some of like the younger people that actually do the work, not the bosses, um, they'll teach you how to do it, and they'll be feel appreciated maybe when they show you how to do it, and you say thanks, you know, for showing me. And sometimes when you get down and dirty and grimy and dirt, all that stuff with your people, then they actually, you know, feel that you're part of the team. You know, there's times and when I was in the military that it was raining outside, snowing outside, and all that stuff. A lot of the bosses would stay in the building or whatever, you know, a tent or whatever it was, the heat from the heat or whatever, getting the air conditioning. While the soldiers like suffered and all that stuff, and heat and all that stuff. They didn't even go hardly ever check on him even, you know, at times when he was up. Well, I wasn't that type to really sit behind a desk. At times, yeah, I was told to. I really did enjoy it. I didn't make a great supervisor in some of the positions I was at because they wanted me just to stay basically behind the desk, and I was more of a make sure my soldiers, my Marines, fellow Marines were okay, you know, and if they needed help, you know, I would be there. I'd be glad to get them a tool or get them something, get them a bottle of water, fill up their camelbacks as they call them, you know, help them get the job done safely, correctly, you know, efficiently. You know, you gotta give people, when you give people tasks and all that stuff, sometimes you have to be specific. Some, especially with the younger generation, they like specifics. They don't necessarily like want a general thing. They want to hear basically how things need to be done step by step by step by step, which kind of can get exhaustive. And more of the older generation, for the most part, you know, they're a little bit like free thinking, and they like to figure out, you know, as long as they meet that deadline, as long as they get things done in a timely manner, not as soon as possible, as I talked to about at one time. You know, and they get the job done correctly and safely, then hey, they accomplished the goal. Because your way is not always the best way, the better way, the more safer way, as I said before. But you know, you can always learn something. The book way, yeah, the book way is usually the correct way to do it, that they say to do it. But you know, there's always times when I was working on planes in the Marine Corps when there was changes coming out all the time on how things should be done differently than they used to be, and all that stuff. You know, new changes, new updates, new software, new this, new that, and other things. There's times I worked on air brakes and all that stuff on the plane and all that stuff, and I found something that wasn't in the books, and you know, and yeah, I'm not trying to boast, but you know, I'm just stating a little small fact, you know. I like to, if I do something, I'll say it, but I don't like to bask in the glory that much, you know, once at the moment, yeah, but you know, not for a long time. But if my soldiers do it, my Marines do it, my fellow comrades, my fellow friends, whatever, if they do something good, show appreciation, show understanding, show thanks, and all that stuff. Listen to them, listen to what their needs, listen to their wants. Get them the best quality of life and all that stuff, because these days on jobs and all that stuff, they don't always get the quality of life. Work comes first. They have more time at work than sometimes at home life, so you know, that's hard on them, you know, in the long run. Some people like to work more than be at home, because obviously, you know, certain issues, which I'm sure everyone knows where I'm going at that, but you know, that's something I really don't want to get involved, talk about in this on my video and all that stuff. But yeah, listen, like they say, God gave you one mouth and 2 ears, you know, obviously to listen and talk. And when sometimes bad things come out of this mouth, but nothing really comes out of this mouth, these 2 ears, except gunk sometimes, I guess you could say, from, you know, dirty ears, of course, but you know, but yeah, you could always learn something from someone, from the youngest person Not necessarily from a baby, maybe, but from a 5-year-old, 4 or 5-year-old, even all the way up to your grandparents, because they've been through some rough times. They're the baby boomers. A lot of the baby boomers still are out there, and they've been through some hard times, and that they made it through it, and they know how to save, which I'm not good at saving money at all. But that's all for now, and see you this coming Saturday. Bye.